Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Market Monday. So glad that you were able to join me today, and I definitely hope you find this information helpful. As always, I'm going to randomly pick a location, and that's where we're going to take a look at today and see what's happening in that market. Okay, although you didn't get to see me do it, I did pick Farmington Hills as the location that we're going to feature today. So we're going to go over, and before I go there, let's look and see what zip codes, what areas make up the Farmington Hills location. So in Farmington Hills, you can pretty much find the zip codes 48331, 48334, and 48336. Now, they do say some of those areas also use the 48335, but that's kind of right on the border. And so it's more associated with Farmington Hills. I'm sorry, with Farmington. But you may still have a few locations that are Farmington, but also Farmington Hills. So you'd have to watch when you're looking at those zip codes, which side are you on? Okay, so like I said, we picked Farmington Hills. So how I start is I just go in and I pull up active listings only, and I put in just the city of Farmington Hills. And as you can see here, what we came up with is currently, as of today, there are 82 active listings, but however, there's nothing coming soon. And again, that's only as of this moment. There could be something that's getting ready to go into the database that I have not seen, but at the moment I put my information, there were zero coming soon locations or coming soon properties. So the main reason that I do this is so that if you are house hunting or even if you are selling a property, you live in this location, you can determine what the price points are. So as a buyer, you want to know, hey, you may have said, I always wanted to live in Farmington Hills, but can you afford to live in Farmington Hills based on the prices and that they're offering? So this is what we're going to take a look at. We're going to go from the lowest price point in Farmington Hills, and then we're going to take a look at what is their highest price point. And naturally, we're going to look at some things in between. So when I pull all of this up, we can see that here, yes, you can get in Farmington Hills for $18,000. That is a manufactured home. It's a 2 bedroom, 1 bath, 372 square feet, and they are offering seller financing. And so, what seller financing is sometimes you can go into certain residents, certain agreements, and you may pay so much, and you pay monthly until you've paid it all off until you own the place. So you can either buy it outright at $18,000, or you can pay to this company. They are like the lender, and you just pay them probably, with some additional interest. So check on that if that's something you're interested in. And then they also have this other one here. It's a little bit bigger, a little more expensive, but also a manufactured home for $23,000. It is, however, a 1 bedroom, 1 bath, even though it's a 518 square foot mobile home. There is an association fee, and that's something you always want to ask your realtor with any property. Is there any type of association fee? Because that's on top of what you may pay, and it's usually something you do have to pay on a monthly basis. So make sure you always check and ask, is there any association fee associated to a property that you're interested in? So now we're into the third most least expensive property in Farmington Hills. And that takes you to a price point of $99,000, 2 bedroom, 1 bath, 972 square feet. Also has an association fee. And like I said, see, this one's $350. So you would have to pay that every month. that you are in this property, even though you may own it. And it states that the HOA includes your exterior maintenance, so them cutting the grass and managing the bushes and things like that, snow removal, and also your water bill is included in that 350. So could be something that benefits you if you use a lot of water. Again, someone doesn't want to deal with snow, exterior maintenance. This might be something that works for you. But again, as you see this building, you do not have a private entrance. You go in that door there, and then you have to go up steps, and your door to get in your unit is within a hallway. Probably other doors are on that same floor. So be mindful of that type of living as well. Now, if you're looking for a single family home in Farmington Hills, what I can see listed, the least expensive one is $150,000. It does give you a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. It's 864 square feet. But this one has a new roof, and there was a lot of new upgrades to the inside. So this is definitely probably a good move in ready option. And if you can look there in the back, you see it does have a 1-car garage to it as well. So, if you want to come into Farmington Hills, 150K is your price point. This is a good option for you to consider, if the square foot, the size of the home is, enough for you. So now I also wanted to pick out a couple other options for you over there in the Farmington Hills area. We've got one here that, gives you some more square footage for those of you who say, hey, I need more room than, 900, 800 square feet. They do have one here that is 1,285 square feet. It's a 4-bedroom, 1 bath. And then here is one, although it's substantially smaller in square footage, the price point is a lot more, and it's a smaller home. So not quite sure. It may just be the location in Farmington Hills, because location can trump all other things, what piece of land it sits, where it sits, the property value over there versus someone else. So I would definitely look into that. And then we have this one here for 255,000, and that is also the biggest of the options that I have listed here. And it's got it's in a gated community too, but it is an attached condo, so naturally I'm sure this one has an HOA fee, things I told you to look out for. But a lot of people like this style of living. They like a gated community. You don't mind, an attached condo, meaning you just attached your wall with someone else, but it's still pretty quiet, things like that. So if that's your style of living, you got a few options here that you can consider. So like I said, in Farmington Hills, they have broad price point here from the 18,000 I showed you up to this $1 million property I'm going to show you as well. But anywhere in between, here's some $300,000 to $600,000 homes. So again, depending on your price point, Farmington may be an area you really want to be in as far as buying. Get with your realtor, have them take you out. Again, the market from what I looked at today can change, so there may be other options. And I definitely did not highlight, every home that is on the market, all 80 something houses. So a lot of inventory for you to choose from. You decide, go take a look. But if this is your groove for Farmington Hills, hey, they got some things for you to take a look at. But let's go over here and see this $1 million property. So if you have $1,674,088, this beauty right here can be yours. You got some land with it. Bedrooms. It's very well maintained inside. I'm not even going to go into the specs of it. I wish I did have a client in this price point. But hey, if you know someone, there is something there for you. So like I said, Farmington Hills in Michigan. Go check it out. Some beautiful homes, quite a few options for you to choose from. And if that's where you want to be, you kind of know what your price point is now. So good luck to you. Get a realtor and good luck.